All right, man. What's happening, man? How y'all doing? This your boy Steve Wells, your tour guide around the SWAC coming at you. And today we're gonna do something a little bit different, but it's gonna be something that we do moving forward. And that's we're gonna talk some basketball, man. We are for everybody but one team. It's basketball season now. So if you're JSU fan, then yes, your football season it extends one more week after this. So you can focus on football, although you have some great basketball programs. You can focus on football. Everybody else, man, we didn't put the pads away. We got the basketballs out, and it's basketball season. So we're gonna do. Obviously, the season has already started. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the men's and women's side of the best of the court, and just share some thoughts and get ready for the basketball season. Once SWAC play starts, we'll dive in fully into basketball. Obviously, Sunday we have excuse me, Wednesday next week we have our Celebration Bowl preview, and then next Sunday we have our Celebration Bowl recap. This Sunday I'm probably gonna do a year-end wrap-up where I look at my predictions for the season and how that turned out, and any other thoughts about the football season that has already taken place. So we'll jump back into football for the next week, and then we'll be pretty much into basketball after that, and recruiting and football and whatever else takes place in the SWAC verse. So with that being said, obviously you can see the socials scrolling on the screen below. So go ahead and give them a like or follow. Um, if you haven't done so already, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this is coaching search season. I keep saying this every week, but it's coaching search season and news can drop at any point. So anytime something comes out, there will be a video from me. So if you get that notification icon hit, then you'll know that I dropped a video to talk about whatever it is that's going on. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. We're gonna go ahead and start with the women. We're gonna talk about the women's side of the SWAC for a few minutes. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little quick primer about SWAC basketball. If you're new here, if you came over for football and you want to hang around for basketball, it's a couple things to know about the SWAC basketball season. Um, every The SWAC plays a round robin schedule. That means, if you don't know, that means you play each team twice, home and away. You play your full schedule. You play your full allotment of teams in your conference. Um, so everybody plays twice. Not only that, but we have travel partners to break up the expense of road trips and everything. We do travel partners. So in this case, the travel partners are Texas Southern and Prairie View, Southern and Grambling, which has changed. It used to be Jackson and Grambling, and Southern and Alcorn. Now it's Southern and Grambling, Jackson and Alcorn, Pine Bluff and Valley, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and then Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M. So what that means is, if you're, for example, if you're, let's say you're Mississippi Valley, you would play at Texas Southern on Saturday, and then on Monday you would play at Prairie View, and Pine Bluff would play at Prairie View, and then Monday they would play at Texas Southern. So that's basically the way they do it. So you don't have to do a whole lot of traveling back and forth, and the schedule typically alternates between a road swing and a homestand, road swing and homestand. The only time that gets out of whack is when you come around the time to play your travel partner. You'll either have 3 games in a row at home or 3 on the road on the road. Men and women play double headers in the SWAC in SWAC play. So typically the women play first, then the men play after that. So that's just a couple things to know. So when you're looking at the schedule, you can pretty much know who's playing who. If you see Pine, like I said, if you see Pine Bluff playing Prairie View, then you know Valley's playing Texas Southern. And it is like that, and then it flipped, and then they play those two teams play on the road at the opponent the next time. So it's a cycle, and it rolls around pretty easily. So that's just something to kind of keep tabs on when you get the conference play. You kind of know who plays who and where they play, and it's pretty simple. So first off, the preseason pick of the women's side of the thing of the conference was Jackson State. They were picked first with 19 first place votes. Alabama State was picked second with 1 first place vote. Southern was third with 1 first place vote. Alabama A&M was fourth with 1 first place vote. Grambling fifth. Texas Southern sixth. Alcorn seventh. Bethune-Cookman 8th, Pine Bluff 9th, Prairie View 10th, Florida A&M 11th, and Valley at 12th. So pretty much that pretty much is how the season ended last year. Jackson State and Alabama State were pretty much the two best teams in the conference. They battled it out in the SWAC championship, which Jackson State will ultimately win and go on to the NCAA tournament. So nothing really changed. This Jackson State women's basketball team is tremendous. They play some really good basketball, and they are a tough team to beat. And they'll be looked at to win the conference again. Um, so pretty much right now, that's how things most likely probably will shake out. I mean, the SWAC is an unpredictable type of league in men's and women's basketball, just like football. You just never know week in and week out what can happen. A team can like if you take Alabama State was one of the better teams in the league last year, and Southern was like a fourth or third or fourth place team. They swept them in the regular season, and then Alabama State won the matchup in the conference tournament. So it's all about matchups, and if you can win the majority of your home games and still a few games on the road, you'll find yourself in a good position to finish at the top half of the conference. Now, before when this was a 10-team league, they only took 8 teams to the conference tournament. I have to look and see how they're gonna do that. If they're gonna still take 8. So if you wanna, if you wanna finish in that top half, because in previous years, the top half of the league hosts the first round game. Each team in the top half hosts a first round game. So you really want to be able to have that first round game at home and give yourself a better chance to win and advance in the tournament. Uh, Daisha Rogan is the preseason player of the year from Jackson State. Amisha Williams is the defensive player of the year preseason from Jackson State. She's a beast, man. She gets down for hers. She's also first team all conference. Uh, Dariana Lewis from Alabama A&M, also first team all conference. Rogan, first team all conference. Shamaya Ward from Alabama State, first team all conference preseason. And Ayana Emmanuel, also from Alabama State. So as you can see, this is Jackson State, Alabama State, pretty much first team. Second team, Atalia Bridges from Texas Southern, Kadeja Brown from Pine Bluff, uh, Genova Johnson from Southern, Deshauna Harper from Alabama A&M, and Jayla Crawford from Alabama State. And this is going to be a really, really exciting season. Rogan was second in the league in scoring last year at 17.6 points per game. She was sixth in the league in field goal percentage at 42%. She was first in field goal and free throw percentage at 80%. Second in 3-point field goals per game at 2.5, and seventh in steals at 2. Williams was sixth in the league in scoring at 15.7 points per game. She was second in rebounding at 12 per game, so she averaged a double-double. 56% field goal percentage, that was second in the league. She was first in block shots at 3.2 per game. And she helped Jackson State hold teams to a league low 58.8 points per game. Jackson State's women's team has a tremendous defense, and Williams is a huge reason for that. She really locks down things in the middle for them and makes it tough for teams to score on them. Right now, obviously, there's so many uneven games right now. You're playing a lot of non-conference games, so the stats don't really even out that much. But right now, Amisha Williams is leading the league in scoring at 16 points per game. Zay Green from Pine Bluff is at 14.3. Alexis Holt from Grambling at 14.3. Kadeja Brown and Morgan Beecham from Pine Bluff are at 13.6 apiece. Rebounding, Brown leads the league at 9.6 rebounds per game. Lewis from Alabama A&M, 8.8. Sarah Moore from Valley, 8 rebounds per game. Geraldine Smith from Prairie View, 7.9. And Williams from Jackson State, 7.8. Assists right now, Green is at 5.2 per game. Ronnie Williams from Valley, 3.8. Luckett from Jackson State and Covington from Jackson State, they're both at 3.5 and 3.3 respectively. And Nigeria Jones from Alabama A&M is at 3.2 assists per game. Right now, Pine Bluff is leading. Well, right now they have the best record. They're 4-4 in the league. Grambling and Bethune-Cookman are 2-5. Prairie View is 2-6. Jackson State is 1-3. Alabama State and Southern are 1-5. Texas Southern, Valley, Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, and Alcorn are all winless. Texas Southern right now is 0-4. Valley is 0-6. FAMU is 0-6. Alabama A&M is 0-6, and Alcorn is 0-7. So obviously these things are going to change once we get into SWAC play. It's not a lot to really take from these games. I mean, obviously you want to be competitive and you want to play to win, but you're playing a lot of games that are money type of games. But you get a good opportunity. Pine Bluff picked up a big victory over Tulane on Saturday, 79-74. So that was one of the games that was really a good feather in the cap for the league. You need these non-conference victories just like in any sport. So you really want to try to take as many opportunities. Alabama State defeated South Alabama 69-59 earlier in the season. Pine Bluff also defeated Southeast Missouri 81-63. Pine Bluff defeated Southern Miss 76-57. So this Pine Bluff women's team has won some nice games out of conference, and we'll see how much they can be a factor once the conference starts. Because right now they're looking pretty good. So they're right now they may be the surprise team to watch once we get into conference play. Every now and then you have those kind of teams. Grambling got a victory over Northwestern State 68-60. Jackson State beat Nicholls State 75-59. Southern's a team who's pretty much always in the mix, so you have to keep an eye on them. But this is pretty much how the SWAC shapes up right now. Obviously, we'll see once we get into conference play. We're gonna take a quick look at the schedule, but we're gonna mainly, like I said, right now focus on the conference slate. So conference play starts in January. January 3rd is the first conference game. That is a Monday, and the Alcorn and Jackson State hook up in the first game in conference play. Valley and Alabama State, Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, Texas Southern and Southern play in Baton Rouge. Valley hosts Alabama State, and Alabama A&M hosts Alabama A&M goes to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Prairie View is at Grambling, and then like I said earlier, these teams will flip on Wednesday, January 5th. They play. Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M won't play because they played each other the first game. So then it's Valley at Alabama A&M, Alabama State at Arkansas Pine Bluff, Prairie View at Southern, Texas Southern at Grambling, and Alabama A&M at Valley. So and then it goes on pretty much every weekend after that. The games from after the first two games, the games will be on Sunday and Mondays every week except for your final week of the season, which is Thursday and Saturday, and then the conference tournaments start on Wednesday, March 9th. So that's pretty much how the women's side shakes out. Should be like I said, I think it's gonna be a two-team race. Alabama State, Jackson State. Anybody else is gonna be an upset if they can stay in the hunt for the championship. But once you get into a single elimination tournament, anything can happen. But right now, you have to kind of put your money on Jackson State and Alabama State. Those two teams have been really solid programs in the last few years, and that won't change this season. So we'll go ahead and move on to the men's side. Again, they play double headers in conference play, so the same schedule applies to the men once conference play starts. And Texas Southern is the top team in the SWAC. They've been one of the better programs in this league for the last umpteen years, and they continue to be a top team. They picked up a big victory at the University of Florida, number 20 ranked University of Florida, beat them by 15 points and really control that game the whole way. And that's something that Texas Southern has done throughout the years. They've won a game out of the conference, at least one pretty much every year or every other year. They are a very dangerous team outside of conference, and then they're a very dangerous team in conference. They had a slow start this season. Prairie View Prairie View got a nice lead. Jackson State went undefeated. Those two teams didn't play each other during the season, COVID and everything altered the schedule. So, those two teams didn't really face off, and then Prairie View and Texas Southern faced off in the conference tournament final. And those two teams are always going to be in the top these last few years. Prairie View and Texas Southern, they battle it out pretty regularly. Texas Southern right now is the preseason first place team with 11 first place votes. Prairie View is second with 9 first place votes. Jackson State is third. Grambling is fourth. Southern is fifth, and they got a first place vote. I guess Coach Woods must have gave them that vote. Florida A&M is picked sixth, Alcorn seventh, Alabama State eighth, Alabama A&M ninth, Bethune-Cookman 10th, Pine Bluff 11th, and Valley is 12th. Alabama A&M also has a first place vote, so I don't know who is voting for these teams, but that's your ninth place pick, and you get a first place vote, so that's very interesting. We all know because it's made waves all around the sports world. Pine Bluff's coach, running his team during a timeout. Um, that's something I've never seen in my life at almost at any level of basketball. Um, that was a weird thing, I mean, it obviously didn't work because they lost that game by 20. Then they got blowed out their next game, and that's not really a way to run a team. He's a young coach. He's new. Maybe he was trying something. This could be, a time that he won't be able to make it any further. So you really don't want to do anything like that. Looking at the preseason all SWAC selection as players of the year, Javon Daniels from Prairie View is the preseason SWAC player of the year. He was sixth in the league in points per game with 15.2. He was ninth in the league in rebounding with 6.1 rebounds per game. He was second in field goal percentage at 54%, and eighth in three-point field goals made per game with 1.7. Juventus Mckinnis from Jackson State is the defensive player of the year preseason. He helped Jackson State lead the league in scoring defense last season at 62.8 points per game. He ranked ninth in points per game with 12 and a half, first in rebounds at 13.2, first in blocks 2.1, and sixth in minutes played. He played average of 32.6 minutes per game. So joining Daniels and McKinnis on first team, Cameron Christian from Grambling, Garrett Hicks from Alabama A&M, and Jalen Johnson from Alabama A&M. John Walker III and Justin Hopkins from Texas Southern make the second team. MJ Randolph from Florida A&M, Kenny Strawbridge, and Jaden Sadler from Southern round out the preseason all-conference teams. So again, Jackson State's going to be in the mix. They are a team that's very defensive oriented. They typically play a really, really physical style of ball. Whenever they do have an offense that can score, then Jackson is always going to be a problem. They tend to not really score a lot of points, but they don't allow a lot of points in conference. So you're gonna have to grind it out when you play them. Texas Southern, Prairie View, more up and down type of teams. They can score and they play pretty good defense as well. I would say Southern is the wild card because this team can play with anybody. They played a close game against Louisville. They lost by 12 to Kentucky. I think they lost a pretty close game to Nebraska, but then they can get beat down by anybody. So they're a team that really relies on their defense. They don't have a lot of depth or size, so they may wear down as the season goes on, but they're a team that's going to be dangerous. Um, Alabama State's always going to be a team to watch out for. Coach Mo Williams, you guys know him, former Alabama player, and Cleveland Cavalier is coaching that team now, so he's going to have that team, on a different level. Right now, they are second in the league in scoring in the non-conference at 68.9 points per game. Southern leads the league in scoring at 71.1. Florida A&M right now has the highest scoring defense, or the lowest scoring defense right now at 68.9 points per game. And, like I said, these numbers are going to be all over the place because a lot of money games and a lot of teams are taking, a lot of beatdowns right now. So things aren't really going to even out until conference play starts. MJ Randolph right now leads the league in scoring from Florida A&M at 17.3 points per game. Robert Carpenter That's a name I've been seeing a lot in these non-conference games from Valley. He's averaging 16.2 points per game. He's had a couple 20-plus point games already this season. He's a guy that's going to be a dangerous player. Joe French from Bethune-Cookman, 15.9 points per game. Javon Daniels from Prairie View, 15.6 points per game. And Jalen Johnson from Alabama A&M is at 15.4, along with Sean Williams at 15.4. Southern has two guys after that, Tyrone Lyons and Breon Whitley. Lyons, 14 points per game. Whitley, 13.6. Garrett Hicks from Alabama A&M, 13.4 points per game. And Darrell Roberts from Prairie View at 12.6. John Walker from Texas Southern is also 12.6 points per game. Mckinnis is the leading rebounder right now. He's averaging 10.4 rebounds per game. Bryson Gresham from Texas Southern, 8.3 rebounds per game. Brandon Brown from Pine Bluff, 8.2 rebounds per game. Lionel Henry from Alcorn, 7.4 rebounds per game. Jalen Johnson, Alabama A&M, 7.2. A.J. Taylor from Grambling, 7. M.J. Randolph from Florida A&M, 6.4. Damian Sears from Southern, 6.1. Jordan Nicholas from Texas Southern, 5.6. And Robert Carpenter from Valley at 5.4. Right now, your leading 3-point shooter as far as percentage goes is Breon Whitley from Southern, shooting 41%. Joe French from Bethune-Cookman, 40%. Field goal percentage leader right now is Joe French from Bethune-Cookman at 45%. Daniels at 44%. Randolph at 43%. Johnson, 43%. Sean Williams, 39%. Free throws, Trey Sampson right now leads the league with 92%. Robert Carpenter, 88%. Johnson, 88%. Gerald Liddell from Alabama State, 84%. William Douglas, 83%. Tyrone Lyons from Southern, 78%. Assists, right now, Jaden Sadler from Southern leads the league with 4.2 assists per game, along with Elijah Davis from Valley, 4.2. M.J. Randolph, 4.1. Justin Thomas, Alcorn, four assists a game. Sean Williams from Arkansas Pine Bluff, 3.8. Tremichael Moulton from Grambling, 3.4. Cameron Tucker, Alabama State, 3.2. P.J. Bird from Southern, 3.1. Ken Evans, Jackson State, 2.8. And Jonas James from Jackson State, 2.5 assists per game. So that's pretty much, how things are shaping up right now. Just a couple game highs on the season that we're gonna take a look at, if it even wants to come up. Right now, Sean Williams and Javon Daniels from Prairie View and Pine Bluff, respectively, had the season high in points at 31. Jalen Johnson and Joe French have 30-point games under their belt. Trey Sampson from Pine Bluff, a 29-point game. Breon Whitley, a 29-point game. M.J. Randolph, 27. Darrell Roberts, 27. Sean Williams, 26. Joe French, 25. Tyrone Lyons, 25. Kylan Moulton, 25. Let's see. Rebounds. Brandon Brown has a season high with 17 rebounds in a game. Damian Sears from Southern, 14. Brandon Brown again with 14. Jordan O'Neal, 14. A.J. Taylor, 14. Mckinnis, 14. Assists. M.J. Randolph has a 10-assist game. Cameron Tucker, 8 assists. Elijah Davis, Byron Joshua, and Tyrone Lyons and Jeremiah Gamble each have a 7-assist game. Joseph Collins, 6. Randolph, 6. Bird, 6. Gamble, a 6-assist game. West, 6. Thomas, 6. Williams, 6. Moulton and Sadler also have 6-assist games. So just wanted to kind of throw out a couple numbers and some guys that you can keep an eye out on. Those names that you hear right now are pretty much going to be the same guys that you hear once conference play starts. Again, the conference play gets started on January 3rd, and January 5th is the first full weekend of conference play. Quick look at right now how teams are shaping up record-wise. Southern and Grambling are both 3-6. Florida A&M is 2-5. Jackson State is 2-6. Alabama A&M is 1-4. Alcorn is 1-7. Bethune-Cookman is 1-7. Alabama State is 1-7. Texas Southern is 1-7. Pine Bluff is 1-9. Valley is 0-6, and Prairie View is 0-8. So we'll see how things shape up as the season continues, as we march toward conference play. We'll see, how if anybody else can pick up any non-conference victories. And that's pretty much gonna do it for this week. Like I said, I just want to kind of hop in and do a little quick basketball preview, just throw out some names and numbers to kind of keep out on the predicted order of finish, and we'll see, how things shape up. Other than that, like I said, I'm not quite sure how they're gonna run the conference tournament, but the second round, as far as I can tell, the first round will be at campus sites. So I'm assuming it's still gonna stay that way. And then the conference tournament, semifinals and finals will take place in Birmingham. So that's pretty much how the conference is gonna shape up right now. Again, we'll jump back into football on Sunday. We're gonna do a little year-end wrap-up. Take a look at how my predictions turned out as far as teams' records and order of finish and that kind of thing. And then we'll be back on Wednesday with our Celebration Bowl preview and our Celebration Bowl recap the next Sunday. And each Thursday, live SWAC Smoke as per usual, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So feel free to check those out. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share videos, and hit that notification bell. And I'm your tour guide. I'm signing out. May y'all enjoy y'all day, and I will holler at y'all tomorrow.